Now, before we leave you this week, we're gonna show you how to wrap that perfect gift for your special someone. Now, you're gonna need a few supplies. Jocelyn's gonna be my assistant here.
That's right.
Ribbon, whatever you want if you really want to get fancy and add a little sass to your present. Of course, wrapping paper, and that's one thing I recommend not skimping on because you can get everything else at the dollar store, but I don't recommend wrapping paper because right when you're about to do the corners, it starts ripping. So invest in some decent wrapping paper, or you can recycle stuff. I'm all for like saving weird materials and trying to wrap with it.
Let me say, I'm actually really excited we're gonna do this because I love wrapping gifts. However, it takes me about an hour to wrap just one gift because I like to get really crafty with it, believe it or not. Because
I believe it.
I'm not really a crafty person, but I love to wrap gifts. So.
I want you, when you're done wrapping your gifts for Christmas, will you bring us some pictures?
Yes, I will, because I like to add little decor in there and things like that.
Yeah.
So, can you believe that?
I want to see it, girl. We're so proud of you. Okay, so if you're really OCD and you want like no lines, then you're gonna have to just spend a little time doing that. But here we already pre-measured our wrapping paper. I have a regular box. Don't forget you can recycle boxes. Nobody cares what the box looks like. So if you're like me and you like to recycle things, I like to recycle my Amazon boxes and all the boxes I get throughout the year because I'm addicted to online shopping. So you want to have it face down, make sure your package is centered, obviously measure it and make sure you have more than enough wrapping paper because you'd rather have more than not enough. And I like to sort of crease it to make sure we're good to go. Make sure it's in a straight line, and I like to tape in 3 spots, one on each edge and one on the center.
Okay.
Now, part of my little OCD, and our producer actually cut this very nicely, so if you want, you can leave it that way. Sometimes I fold it over to make a pretty line in case you're bad at cutting straight, which I can be bad at.
Yes, I do the same thing, so I'm glad I'm doing that right.
So again, if you want to be like super perfectionist, you can get double-sided tape. But I like to do 3 parts, the center and one closest to each of the edges. So that looks good. And this is where you want to make sure you don't have too much extra because it can get kind of out of hand. But what I like to do here on the side, this is my method. Everybody has something different that they do. But you want to sort of fold it in. And depending on the paper you have, it might be friendly and it might not. But I sort of like to fold it in. Make sure I've got the surface area covered and then give myself a nice crease. Same on this side. Make sure the paper is working with you, not against you. Here we go, here we go. So I've got those 2 edges in. If you want, you can tape it just to be sure you're safe, but I am also like to preserve my extra tape. So then when we get here, you wanna sort of make sure your corners are bent right. And since I have some extra paper, I'm gonna just flip it in, push down all my lines. You see that? Good. And then taper down. Other side, I'm gonna flip her around. Get that piece of tape ready. Oh, shank your honey. Same thing on this side. Make sure you have like a nice crease if you want it to look so perfect. And then again, I like to sort of fold over so that I have like a nice, pretty, crisp line. Here we go. Perfect. See how nice that is? Yeah. It's so beautiful.
It is.
Okay, let's see how quickly I can do this side because I do want to get to a point where I'm showing you how to wrap something that's a little less conventional here. So let's see. Same thing. Boom, boom, boom. Since this is like the ugly side, I'm going to do this one first because I want to cover it up. So a little fold over. And also just remember, if this is one of the things that stresses you out over the holidays, there are a lot of events, especially at the mall, where people are raising money and wrapping your gifts for donations. So literally, you could relieve so much stress with yourself by donating like 10 bucks, taking all your gifts to the mall and letting them take care of it so you can just live your life. Okay, now I've got some ribbon and or some string here. I haven't done this in a while, but it's gonna be fine. It's good. I love doing things on live TV and just experimenting. So this is a question that a lot of people have. I'm gonna take the pretty side. As you can see, this one has all the tape, right? So I want that to be on the bottom. So I'm actually gonna start with the pretty side on the bottom and make sure I have like a lot of string because I'd rather have too much than not enough, again. Okay, a lot. And we're gonna do that fancy crisscross thing that they do at Dillard's for you that you pay like 20 bucks for. Okay, check this out. So you just want to make sure, honestly, it doesn't even have to be centered, just somewhere on the package. Get it, right? Pretty side over here. Do a little twisty. You can do one twisty, or do more, okay, too much string. You can do one twisty, you can do 2. But see how I just did a little loopy?
Do you need me to put my finger right there, or do you?
Girl, when I make the bow, I will actually need your help. So flip it around, and this can be centered, off-centered, whatever you want. Again here, if you know how to tie your shoes, you know how to do this to a present. So if you want to meet it in the middle, you can do it off to the side. I like to go ahead and make a tight knot first. And then at that point, it's up to you if you want to make like a fancy bow. I'm not very strong at bows. You could even stop it there and put just a little generic bow on top. But if you want, you literally just do one of these guys. If you want to like double it up, check it out. I'm literally just making this up right now, but I'm sure it's gonna be super cute. Yeah, you can just double it up and make like, oh, look how beautiful that is. And then just cut off your extra, bam, bam.
And there you have it.
Bam, look at that beautiful present.
See, and that was within a few minutes.
Yeah.